Hi guys, welcome back to Steelers Fan TV. It's been a while since I last did a video, and for reasons for A-level studies is the only reason why. Apart from that, I'm going to try and sort of get a bit more consistency, because at the end of the day I haven't really been consistent recently, and I look like a ghost right now because of the light that's in front of me. So this video is actually going to be about the EIHL. It might not interest some of you, but it's sort of food for thought really, and I'm going to sort of bring some things up that I think could potentially happen with it, and why it actually could be decent for the EIHL itself as well. So obviously earlier the EIHA, English Ice Hockey Association, for those who don't know, it is different from the EIHL, and it's about mainly sort of the NIHL Division 1 and Division 2. There's a proposal of a new league being put in above that. There hasn't been a name thrown about for this new league, but it is a league that could potentially have some sort of good, sort of positive outcome for the development of English players, and British players in general, because a higher league than the NIHL 1 is something that is needed, because the NIHL 1 compared with the EIHL, there is a massive gulf in quality, and getting a team from the NIHL up to the EIHL will prove really difficult, simply because there is such a sort of massive gulf in the quality of the teams between the two leagues. And to set this new league up would not only sort of have a step beyond the NIHL 1, but it would also sort of have sort of a more of a platform to get into the EIHL, recognising that it is a higher league than the NIHL. It'd be more like the EPL that used to be. So obviously the EPL went out of fashion, out of business, and became the NIHL 1 and 2. Obviously they already existed, but the teams from the EPL dropped down to the NIHL, and they created this it's more of a wholesome league. But some teams in the NIHL are too good for the NIHL, and it has been seen really. You see you see so many scores that are like 15-0. I mean, you saw it the other day with Invicta Dynamos having only 8 players sort of show up to the game, and having to play that game against Peterborough Phantoms, who were quite a well-established hockey side. For them to win 15-0 against a side with only 8 players, there's no real fun in that. And personally, I'm glad that this new sort of proposal of this new league, because what I hope it will do is make the IHL recognise that sort of there are better teams sort of within that sort of band of not good enough for the IHL but better than the NIHL. So obviously that'd be the gap, and then they'd sit there sort of right in between. And there's an opportunity there for quite a lot of teams to sort of push into. Now, NIHL have dismissed the idea of like an FA Cup type thing, sort of the team from the IHL, the NIHL, all go up against each other and sort of battle in like an FA Cup style fixture. But apparently sort of the NIHL sort of dismissed this idea and think it's a bit crap. And personally I'm not sure why. I think that'd sort of bring quite a lot of money for them teams. But there is the sort of embarrassment thing. Sort of would they turn up and get absolutely demolished? Say sort of Invicta Dynamos got drawn the Cardiff Devils, would that be fun for anyone? But you'd obviously have to do it sort of deterministic on the sort of abilities of the side, which is again why it's a good idea really for this sort of new league to be put in. But there's something I would suggest really that might sort of, I don't know, divide hockey fans really. Obviously, say we called it like the EIHL 2 or something like that. I mean, that'd be a good idea. That'd be a really good idea, I think. But because that'd sort of bring more attention to it, like give it the name like the EIHL. People are gonna be like, oh, let's have a look what this is, rather than the NIHL sort of Prem or something like that. People are gonna think like, oh, it's still the NIHL, not as good. Call it the IHL 2. You get a lot more sort of recognisable sort of people coming to watch it. Now, it's an opportunity really for a lot of areas, and one is a promotion relegation system. Now, I haven't thought this through. I haven't really thought this video through, but ideas have been flooding into me for the past 40 minutes or so, and I just wanted to portray them here. you know. And a possible promotion relegation system, it would make it a lot more competitive. Say the Dundee Stars finished like 11th, sort of next season had to go down to the EIHL 2, and then they were fighting for promotion back to the EIHL. You know, would that draw a fan base? Would that draw a crowd? Would it draw sort of, you know, at the minute, as embarrassing as it sounds, the Steelers could be relegated to the IHL 2. You know, if it was the thing, sort of 3 up, 3 down, playoffs and the thing to get up to the IHL, you know, 3 down from the IHL. The Steelers could fall into that category. That'd be bad, wouldn't it? Steelers play IHL 2, but you see where I'm coming from. So a promotion relegation system would not only sort of help the competition style sort of thing to it, but I think it'd also help the financial difficulties of clubs, because if you're back in the IHL 2, like, I'm saying it as though it's a thing, but it's not, obviously. But if you're playing to get up to the IHL, there is so much at stake there. And fans would pay a lot of money to go and watch an IHL 2 game, say if it was the playoffs to get into the thing. It's like 2 promoted, 1 up through the playoffs, 3 promoted in total. You know, it would be incredible. Say the Steel Dogs were in the playoff final, you know, say it were held somewhere and it would draw a crowd, it really would. Because there's the possibility that you're going to be in the top sort of flight of the British ice hockey. And yes, it is far-fetched, and yes, it is my imagination, but at the end of the day, it's not beyond the realms of possibility, especially not if the teams actually buy into it. Though I do doubt that they will, because at the end of the day, British ice hockey is sort of built on this sort of to yourself, really, you know. Clubs don't really like sort of letting you in on what goes on behind the scenes. They don't really like sort of investing financial, because they'll end up in financial difficulties. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, they'll end up sort of going bust. But that wouldn't happen if there was a lot of investment put into this sort of new style idea. Now, the second point I want to get across is sort of the bigger teams creating reserve sides. Sheffield Steelers reserves play at Ice Sheffield every week. You know, there isn't much ice time at Ice Sheffield, but, you know, they could even play at Arena. You know, as it sounds, get 3,000 Fruitgate, you know. 3,000, that's a bit much. Maybe 2,500 or something like that. Extra money for the Arena, extra money for the Steelers, you know. But obviously I don't think we'll get to that stage. Or it could be, you know, like Devils, for example, they could set up a reserve side. Each EIHL side set up a reserve side to play in this EIHL too. What would it do? I think it'd sort of draw more attraction to the IHL as a whole, because people will be seeing like these teams setting up reserve sides and they'll be like, wow, they're actually decent. And sort of teams like the Steel Dogs, like Hull Pirates and stuff like that, playing the IHL too, you know, they step up their game, and so do like the other clubs around them, so the IHL clubs, because they want to make their reserve team good. They want to have some recognition for their reserve team, you know. It's all in my head a little bit, but at the end of the day, I've got good ideas in my head. You might not think it is a good idea, but I do think the Steelers could do something like this potentially. I think they could also invest more into the Steel Dogs, because apparently we've got nothing to do with the Steel Dogs, and I find that a bit daft, because I don't understand why there's 2 separate Sheffield teams when there could be a real advantage to sort of affiliate yourself with this Sheffield Steel Dogs side to sort of promote players to the Steelers, sort of send them down to the Steel Dogs if they're not performing that well. And it might not work, but again, so I'm out of breath. Sheffield Steel Dogs, you know, decent side, they could play in this new division. Hull Pirates, Paisley Pirates, I'm not sure. Paisley Pirates, I'm not even sure if they're a team. Right, moving on. You know, Basingstoke Bison, are they still a team? You know, I don't have much knowledge about the NHL, and this is exactly why I believe that this is a great opportunity, because it'll give me more interest, especially because, you know, the NHL has like its own site, but it's not really up to date as sort of the rest of the sites, and the results aren't really there, you know, scores aren't there, you know. I don't have much to do with it. I've watched a few Steel Dogs games, yes, I watched 2 or 3. I think I have watched 3 Steel Dogs games. The enjoyment I get out of them is certainly considerably less than what I'd get out of the IHL. Now, if they played at Ice Sheffield regularly, and they were to sort of play in this league, this new style league, I would happily sort of invest my money into it. I'd happily sort of get a season ticket, because at the end of the day, it's more hockey. I love hockey. I play hockey, you know, I everything hockey, you know. this over my A-levels, it's hockey, you know. This is sort of why I'd be interested in it, and I really do hope to see sort of how it sort of evolves. And anyway, this video was just a bit of food for thought, really. I'm sort of trying to get a few ideas out there. Hope you have enjoyed this vidcast, guys. It's been a while since I've done one, and I hope to see you in the hopefully a Q&A on Sunday. You know, I'm not sort of consistent at the minute, but I hope you enjoy sort of one-off videos like this, guys. Okay, see you later.